Anyway, so maybe I'll continue that Cardi B conversation another day. But I want to talk about something else. Because I was watching a couple of different responses. It feels like everyone at this point has responded to the Charlie Kirk situation, the Erica Kirk crying, the memorial situation, and I feel like um in my life, I have observed so directly and so instantaneously the direct results of my actions. Like, at no point in my life have I been able to not be explicitly and directly responsible for my actions. I think part of it is just like my parents, the way I was raised that way, the sort of, educational system that I was around. Just maybe it was like the religious thing. Like, there's been no point in my life where like someone could say like a sort of racial slur. Like, there's always instances of like anti-Semitism, right? Like on the Davis campus, people like what did they do? They like they put a whole bunch of graffiti on some Jewish temple, and it became this immediate thing on campus. Like the perps were found, all these articles came out. It was like a really big deal. But it's been like that all the time. And I give this example a lot in my real life, but I will share it with you guys. People love to talk about accessibility. Accessibility. Let's be accessible. But I think like a part of accessibility that some people don't understand, I will give you an example of. In my kindergarten class, there was a kid who was like deaf and mute, and I think he also had cerebral palsy, so he was like in a wheelchair. But he had an aide that was with him all day long, so he still participated in every aspect of the class. And in our classrooms, we had these ramps that he was able to use to get up the ramp and into the class. And then we also got separated in our school, in our class, by reading level. So at every part of the day, you go into these reading groups. So this kid who had quite a lot of like disabilities was in my reading group, which was the highest reading group, because his comprehension was still very high. Like, he could, because he had the proper tools to enable him to succeed, he was like actually succeeding. That's where I started. So when I'm thinking about accessibility, I use like that example. Like, that kid came to the class having literal disabilities that if he did not have accessibility tools provided to him by his family and his society, maybe his counselors or whoever, he came into the learning space able to function at the same capacity as everyone else because he had the tools and he could use the tools. When people are starting to have more conversations about equity and equality, that's what they're saying. Like, certain people, for instance, if you have students who are coming from extremely violent situations, or students who don't have food access, and I want to like really stay here for a minute because like, oh my god, this fucking retarded cowboy got on, and I don't know if you guys saw this, but he did the debate with ABBA. And it was basically because he felt like ABBA was diminishing Charlie Kirk's legacy by quote tweeting him and taking what he said out of context. I've heard that a few times, this out of context thing. And it seems like people are using that because they're trying to have the intent argument. So it's almost like if I were to call you, I don't know, an ugly faggot or something, and really I didn't, like, if I said that to you, I would say it because I meant it. You might be interpreted it whatever way you want to interpret it. If I said it to you, though, it's because I meant it. And I just feel like there's no real argument that you could make with a person who's intellectually as capable as Charlie, who didn't know what the fuck he was saying when he said it. So I think it would be pretty hard to take them out of context. So let's start there. So we go on and they start talking about this argument of like, should schools provide free lunch for students? This is the argument. Now, Charlie responds and says, no, parents should be totally responsible for providing meals for their students. The state and the school should not be responsible for that. He was basically saying, I don't want my tax dollars going to that. So Abba goes down this path to try to get this guy who also agrees with him, the cowboy in this situation, agrees with that argument that schools should not provide free lunch. And he tries to explain to him that, well, in the world, there are some parents who are just bad parents. So because they are bad parents and they don't provide lunches for their students, their kids, and they send them off to school, because the school lunches are there, the students can eat. If you take away the lunches from the schools, there's no one there to provide the food for the students. So the problem doesn't get solved. And this cowboy's argument was like, well, there are churches. There's the SNAP, the Food Assistance EBT program. And then Abba had to go on to explain to him how, or he tried to give an analogy. He said, how is a 7-year-old supposed to go apply for EBT? How is a 7-year-old supposed to go to a food bank to get food? And he doesn't understand that that's the barrier, right? Like, imagine a 7-year-old going to the social welfare office and being like, I'm hungry. I want food. What, like, what? They aren't eligible to apply. If you didn't know that, that's the real situation. Like, you have to be an adult to apply for the program, no matter how hungry you are. That same situation applies at the food bank. You can't be 5 years old and just walk into the food bank and say, give me food. Because those people are going to say, where's your adult? Your adult needs to be the person who comes in and gets the food for you. Now, you would think these people who claim to be so fucking smart would be able to see that, but they don't understand that. In their minds, they believe that something else happens. I don't know what that something else is. But then when there's a fucking program that's there that says, hey, we are not going to discriminate against anyone. This is the program that's going to feed the hungry children. Now, to anyone who doesn't know this, the school lunch program was actually a program that was founded by, ready? The Black Panther Party. Straight from Oakland, super black, super socialist. They realized that all the kids in their community couldn't learn because they were going hungry. And that was in fucking 1955, right? So initially, there was actually no state program. All they did was go get food and start bringing the fucking food into the classroom. And they were like, they were literally providing the food to the classrooms. And then everyone's grades started getting better. So then they went to more schools. And so then it was just all the black schools then had the food, and the state was like, oh my God, this is actually working. Let's move this program to all the schools. And then they did that, and now it's a state program, and now I think it's a national program. But the program didn't come from, like, people thought deeply about how to implement the program and why the program is necessary. This fucking retarded cowboy, though, it's just like in his mind. He was like, he legitimately said there are no hungry kids in the United States. That's what he said. And okay. You can't fix stupid. You can't fix it. And there's no solution to it. I think it's genetic. And the more that this retard talked, it was just like, why? why. Like, there's some people who stand directly in the way of progress. This nigga is one of them. Like, you have to physically move them out of the way of like, some people do have to die for the cause. Okay? Like, let's just be honest here. Now, I'm not saying that that was the case for Charlie. In my opinion, like I said, I like my white supremacy out in the open. I like it when they have the shirts and the Klan masks, the name tags, and the geolocations. I like to, like, know where the Klan's members, the KKK Karens, all of them. I want everybody to just come out and speak your piece so we all know where you land. I have no aspiration to change anyone, to convert anyone, like, I don't want to change anybody's politics. That, I don't feel that way. So I personally loved that, like, it's just like his entire lived ideology was like the total and complete opposite of my own. Like, fundamentally, on, like, we were like on opposite ends of every belief spectrum, except some of the stuff that had to do with ethical morality. But I think, like, even let's go beyond that, though, because I still want to tie this back into, like, society. I was using the word karma, but I think it's too complex to use it amongst people who are so, like, theologically dumb. Like, you could understand karma maybe if you, like, understood more about, like, ethics. But I do think too many people are, like, ethically fraudulent. So they don't even have enough, like, good moral standing to even understand the philosophy. So let's just go back for a second and just talk about society. Like, let's just say, hypothetically, that there was a bunny that was crossing the street. Now, like, I like bunnies. If I saw a bunny that was crossing the street, I'd be like, oh my God, it's so cute. It's a bunny. I might try to walk next to the bunny so it doesn't get run over by some idiot in a car who doesn't care about bunnies. You know what I mean? Something like that, so that the bunny can continue to cross the street and then I can admire the bunny's cuteness. That's how I would feel. Everybody doesn't feel like that. There's plenty of people who would, like, run the bunny over, and that it would be a happy day for them, right? Okay, so now let's take those two scenarios, though, because, like, in my ideal society, I'm gonna stand next to the bunny and watch the bunny cross the street so that the bunny crosses the street safely, and then I can have a happy day admiring the bunny doing whatever it's fucking doing. Bunny hopping along, you know, like, eating a carrot, whatever the fuck the bunny wants to do. I don't know. I don't want to control the bunny. I just want to watch the bunny be cute and, like, hop around, right? Free bunnies. But other people hate bunnies, those fucking bunny haters, and would be happy to run the bunny over, you see? So, like, we're in direct competition here, right? Because, like, those bunny murderers are, they're trying to come with the car and running the bunny over, and I'm sitting here trying to walk with the bunny to make sure the bunny gets across safely. But I'm not gonna, like, I'm also not gonna pick up the bunny and throw him on the other side, right? Because I'm not, all these things, it's complicated. It's not black and white. It's not simple. Either way, however the situation goes, like, maybe the bunny is, like, actually admiring the middle of the street and chooses not to cross the street. So he just sits in the middle of the street. So now he's, like, disturbing traffic, and I'm disturbing traffic because we can't move. The cars can't move. Traffic is impeded because this bunny is not making a decision. So something has to happen. Me being the person who I am, the only action that I'm going to take is simply not moving until the bunny moves. Eventually, though, the bunny's going to have to move. But until the bunny moves, nothing else goes. Like, some cars might go around, but traffic is impeded until that bunny moves. I think that's the thing that people don't understand about, like, the Charlie Kirk, the Turning Point movement, and kind of, like, the hate that they spewed. They were kind of, like, sitting in the middle of traffic, in a sense. Like, people, like as they were sitting there, a whole bunch of shit got taken away. They were like, fuck DEI, take away women's rights. Did you guys hear they're taking away women's credit cards now? Like, that's literally on the ballot. It's called like some like equitable thing where now women might not be able to have credit cards. That movement is sitting in the middle of progress, and you can believe it and you cannot believe it, whatever the fuck you believe. If it stays there, shit isn't gonna move. Now that it has been removed, the highway is kind of free again, and everyone is going in their respective lanes, right? Now, sometimes those traffic impeders die of cancer, and then we don't have to have a political conversation about gun violence. I feel like that's what I was wishing for, but clearly God has his own plan, right? But like, I do think it's very strange for the other people. Like, I heard Choice TV talk about this in some way where he's like describing the evil on the other side. Like, people who recognized that there was like someone impeding traffic, and it's not traffic, you see what I'm saying, inhibiting progress, and then that person is removed and then everybody's like, amen. And then they're like, oh my god, you're evil for being like, you wanted like traffic to not be impeded. And it's like, it wasn't exactly that. It was more like, I liked when we had freeways and not blockades sending us back to the fucking 30s. Like, it ain't, I don't know. Like, I think that's another like way though where we're getting to the crossroads, and the crossroads are just here, because I do feel like there's some fundamental differences that we're never going to agree on. Like, never, 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 ever. Never, never. Never. Never, never, never. Never, ever. So there's that too. Where like the crossroads would kind of be like if we got to a place where everybody like understood how traffic runs, and then people just go their respective ways. There's a whole other thing though when people are like, actually there's no more freeways and everybody must go on that like side street over there and walk in Mormon masks or some shit. That's where I'm not doing that. So like, it ain't me. Like, no. Absolutely fucking not. It's the societal effect of it all though, because then there's another thing where there seems to be this like philosophy of like, well, I was quiet and I said nothing, therefore I am good. Not saying nothing, like saying nothing doesn't make you good, and I want to like be very clear about that. If you said nothing, you are not a good person. You are actually like a shittier person than everybody else, because you watched something that was very fucking public happen and you basically said, I saw it and I still don't give a shit. So that certainly doesn't make you like a good person. And I've heard that argument so many times. So many times. That like, that's what I mean. There's the people who believe they're not participating in politics. Politics is going to happen around you every fucking day, whether you participate or not. Like, don't participate and then watch Republicans take away all women's rights. Don't say shit. Go make more Instagram posts that have lipstick, and then they're gonna like ban makeup. And so nobody, literally, I heard one woman come on yesterday and she was like, okay, she was literally like a super blue collar, red blooded, redneck Republican. And she was like, I have a business that sells something to women, and the women who buy my product pay with credit cards. So this new law would stop them from buying things and my business will shut down. And listening to this woman say that, I was like, damn, this bitch saw the light, and like nobody intervened. It was like it literally all made sense to her, and no one had to say anything, because that was the moment she realized, like, even if you don't participate in politics, it is going to fucking come and hit you. And I'm not sure, but I think she was wearing red lipstick, and I think the thing she was selling was like red lipstick. So like first they ban her business, right? Because they make that credit card ban. So women can't have credit cards, meaning that she cannot run her business, so she can't provide for herself. And then there's a whole other separate law or something. The bill was like 3 parts, but the second part is like you have to have the qualification of a man in order to purchase shit, something like that. So basically her husband would have to take her business. But I think one step further than that, especially given that she was in like the makeup industry, is like policing the beauty people. Like, you can't wear this, you can't wear that, you can't do this, no more OnlyFans, you can't, like, everything that was like, you were like, oh, all these freedoms I have. And because you did not participate in politics, they just took your shit away, and you didn't even see the bill coming because you didn't read it, because you didn't participate in the politics. The other part of that I think is so wild is like the other side has been so vile in their participation of not even retribution. It's just like vileness. Like the George Floyd challenge is like the most disgusting thing I've seen in so long. Imagine putting your fucking knee on somebody else's neck and then mocking them die, and making fun of a real person who died, and then believing you don't have karmic justice coming to you. That's some wild ass shit. That's some shit. Like, I couldn't even, like, I honestly feel like everything that happened was poetic justice. It was like exactly what needed to happen for everyone, and I mean like everyone from every side, to understand in this 360 way that no matter where you stand, there is someone in polar opposite relation to you who fucking hates you as much as you hate them. And I think the other side didn't see that, because there was never a golden opportunity for everyone else to be like, fuck you too. And this was like the perfect, it was the chef's kiss moment of being like, fuck you, your wife, and your family, and none of us give a shit. And yeah, it's just like that is the hate that you have created here. And maybe in 60 years, after doing like 60 or 100, 200 years or something of doing like reparatory work to start to like introduce some sort of civility that is not as toxic as the current and previous environment that you have created, maybe something else will come. So then if a situation even remotely similar to this happens, there will be a different outcome. But this outcome from both sides, with like the vile extremism from both sides, certainly needed to be experienced by everyone. The religious people, the non-religious people, the white people, the black people, the people of color, the non-political beauty influencers, just everyone. I think everyone needed to have a touch the grass moment where they understood that no matter how little or how much they participate in this thing we're calling society, you will be affected. You will be impacted. It will actually hit your fucking front door. I think that this has also been like, with all of the ICE things and the immigration things, this has been like that moment for Hispanics who somehow believed that they were like immune to, I don't even know, whatever they were like. And now they're having like a real, come to truth moment where you understand what it means to enter a country illegally. The other part that's like really funny about that, if you are a traveler in any way, like you just understand how critical it is to have like visa overstays are actually a really big thing. Like, I could not overstay my visa in Germany. Like, the German police will find you and they will be like, why are you here? Like, when I was on a Flixbus, I saw like 4 people get pulled off of the Flixbus because something was wrong with their visa, and they were immediately like, it was like, from, I think this happens so many times, but if you cross over the border, like, you can easily take a bus out of Germany, but when you're coming back, and as soon as you cross the border into Germany, like right at the border, they stop the bus and they check everybody's paperwork, every single person. And there were like 6 different people who got pulled off of the bus. Like, every other country is like this, and I'm very confused how there's some idea that only here it doesn't apply. The same thing is true in Africa. The same thing is true in Austria, Italy. There's no place that you can go where you can just be. You can just like go, and then now you're just there. You start working. You just start like, it ain't a thing. Like, you definitely have to tell the fucking, like, I don't know, like that's wild. But also be serious. Like, I can't, in my mind, I really feel like people are pretending like they weren't here for all the George Floyd shit. Like, and the Breonna Taylor stuff. Like, that was gross on a different level. It wasn't just gross because 2 people lost their lives. It was gross because people were like rationalizing that they should have lost their lives. And then they mocked it, and they just kept it going in every news cycle. Oh, this is why it happened. This is why this is why it makes sense. We agree. Blah, blah, blah. It was like, damn. Nobody let that man rest in peace. He didn't get his family didn't get a second apiece. Imagine being that man's mother and having to watch whole groups of white America participate in a fucking challenge, watching your son die. That's what that black woman went through. And there wasn't a tear for her. She didn't get not a night's rest, nothing. Like, I saw that. I saw that. And if you didn't see that, it's because you pretended that you didn't see it. But it was very loud, and it was very visible. And it was like, it was as visible as this. It was as present as this. And, you know, I think it's mad. It's wild. Like, everybody just pretends, right? Like, so imagine trying to, like, police people for walking, police people for grieving, police people for cheering, and then even police people for not grieving. Like, so what can you do? You're policing people for every single emotion, all the emotions. You can't grieve in this way. You can't grieve in that way. You can't do this. You can't do that. You can't say this. You can't say that. There's nothing you can do. There's just nothing. There's nothing. I don't know. That's weird to me. And as a person who is alive, okay, and as a person with a conscience, I see it, and I can't not say nothing about it or pretend that I don't see it. And I also think it is very strange to people. I think there's something wrong with those who believe that being a parent makes you more of a moral human. Like, being a parent doesn't make you any more moral at all. Like, period. Some of the worst people on the planet are parents. You see them all day long, raising little Nazis up. They're doing, like, Hitler had children and a wife. He also had, like, a literal breeding farm. Like, do y'all not know what happened in the Holocaust? Like, other people's children were put into ovens. That happened. Like, parents put other people's children in ovens and then were like, this is the right thing to do. Like, pull it back, like rein it in for a second and just think about what it is that you're saying with that argument, because that is a very strange argument to make, and there's no logic there. that would almost be like, I think maybe that's the point that I'm missing, that other people see. Like, I have this assumption that we are living in a society of people who are as smart as me. And every day I come to a brutal reality that not only is that not the case, but these people are like really dumb. Like, you have to put the sign and the words bleach on the bleach bottle, because even if someone were to like open the bleach and smell it, they might drink it because they don't understand that bleach is bleach and it might die. So it has to literally have an X with a skull and a tongue sticking out so people know not to drink bleach. Like, that's how dumb this country is. So it had been a minute and I had a lot to say. Maybe this conversation will continue for a while because there's more and more things that I'm seeing coming out. What I will do with this video that's a little bit different from other videos is I will put in the description box maybe like 4 or 5 different channels or streams that if you are interested in hearing other points of view, moderate points of view, like honestly, I think it's useful to listen to panels of people on the right and panels of people on the left and panels of people who are moderate or in the middle, so that you can sort of understand a variety of things. But if you are female and you are black and you're on this channel, I do hope that you go research that bill that is being introduced, the one that is looking to inhibit women's rights to have credit cards, because especially on this channel we talk a lot about autonomy. And if we don't have rights to have credit cards or bank accounts here, that is going to change quite a lot. Like, we are entering a whole different territory of conversations, and honestly, right now, I don't really have strategies for that. So